The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users, on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with what I write there or not. And there's a very interesting story there just posted today that kind of relates to our discussion today. It's about a reverse problem at the border with Mexico, not sneaking people and contraband into the United States, but sneaking contraband out of the United States. And we'll be talking to our guest about that in a little more detail in just a moment or two. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. Welcome to the show. Well, believe it or not, thousands of illegal immigrants stand to gain from President Obama's economic stimulus plan because they will be given jobs in the construction field carrying out some of the projects that the plan will fund. The reason for this is that they didn't include E-Verify in the plan, which would have required contractors to check the immigration status of all they hired online, something that just takes a couple of minutes to do. In fact, the E-Verify program may be dying in the Congress altogether. Joining us now on News Talk Online on Paltalk.com to talk about this and the recent seizures of weapons at the border heading into Mexico, as well as the Mexican drug gang wars spilling over into Phoenix, Atlanta, and Texas, is Ira Melman of FAIR, F-A-I-R, the Federation for American Immigration Reform. Ira Melman, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thanks very much, Gary.
Happy to have you here. Let me start with a story that just cleared the AP wire. Two senior GOP congressional officials expressed concern that the bill could steer government checks to undocumented workers, but in fact, the measure indicates that Social Security numbers are needed to claim tax credits of $500 per worker and $1,000 per couple. It also disqualifies non-resident aliens. Now, here's the reaction by the Democrats. Quote, "This legislation is directed toward people who are legal in our country. It is about time. The Republicans got a different piece of reading material and get off this illegal immigrant stuff," said Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, Democrat of Nevada. This bill has nothing to do with anything illegal as far as immigration. It creates jobs for people who are lawfully in this country. Mr. Reid seems to differ with your opinion and my reporting of this issue, Ira.
Yes, and let's take these two issues separately. In terms of the tax credits that are coming to all of us, including illegal aliens, it does say in the legislation that they're not supposed to go to non-resident aliens. However, the IRS defines anybody as a resident alien who's been here, I think, for about 9 months. So whether you're here legally or illegally, the IRS considers you for tax purposes to be a permanent resident of the United States, and therefore, under the definition used by the IRS, these folks will be eligible for the tax credits. Now, in terms of the other part of it that you're talking about, the job creation, Harry Reid has said that he supports E-Verify, that he thinks it's a valuable tool, and yet the Senate, every time they get the opportunity, kills E-Verify right up until yesterday when they refused to include it in the omnibus spending package that's going to keep the government funded through the rest of the year. E-Verify, the omission of E-Verify from the stimulus bill was not an oversight. It wasn't like they got up and said, oh, gee, we forgot to do that. It was in the House bill. The House bill contained two provisions. One said that we're going to reauthorize E-Verify for another 5 years. Number two, we are going to require any company that receives federal stimulus money to use the E-Verify system to make sure that the workers they hire are legally present here in the United States. It was Harry Reid who blocked those amendments were being offered to the Senate bill. It was Harry Reid together with Nancy Pelosi who pulled that language out of the conference report when the House and the Senate got together to work out the differences and made sure that language was not in the bill that President Obama signed last month.
Well, you just said, Ira, that under the IRS regulations, a person would have to be in the United States 9 months before being declared permanent. No, I don't. I would have to beg to differ with you. They could be in the United States for 9 hours because they are illegal. They are undocumented. They have no way of knowing, they being the government, how long that person was here. They could walk in and say they've been here for 9 years after being in here for 9 minutes. Nobody would know the difference.
Well, that's true. I mean, corroborating this information is difficult enough. But, purely from a technical point of view, that is why these members of Congress are saying that in spite of what the language of the law says, illegal aliens are going to be getting these tax credits because under the IRS definition, and they are the ones who dictate tax policies here in the United States, they are considered to be long-term residents of the United States and therefore subject to getting those tax credits. You get into a technical argument here, but the bottom line is that the law is written in a way where there is a loophole that allows illegal aliens to get these tax credits.
Let me read you something that's in text in our virtual auditorium on Paltalk.com. The writer is using the nickname Big Cliff. E-verifying has worked well. Why get rid of it? Good question, Cliff. Why would anybody want to get rid of something that really helps the contractors stay within the framework of the law?
Well, the fact that it works is precisely why the people who support illegal immigration want to get rid of it. They don't want a system that actually works. They were very happy with the system where you came in with your Social Security card. It may have been the one that was actually issued to you, or it may be the one that you bought on the street corner a half hour ago, presented it to the employer, he looked at it and says, well, it looks pretty good to me, you're hired. That is the system that they want. The last thing that they want is a system that actually allows them to determine whether you're legally entitled to hold a job here in the United States. There's no reason why a Social Security card can't be verified the same way that your credit card is verified. And that's exactly what E-Verify attempts to do, and actually does with a 99.6% accuracy rate. And that's precisely why Harry Reid and the Senate leadership want to get rid of it, because it does work.
Peel back the onion a little bit further and ask the question again, Ira Melman from FAIR. Then why would they not want to weed out illegal immigrants from the employment pool? Why would they want to encourage the hiring of people who are here illegally or undocumented?
Because a lot of industries have gotten to like the fact that they can hire illegal aliens more cheaply than American workers. These are people who write big campaign checks to members of Congress. And if you look at Harry Reid's home state, you go into any of the casinos in Las Vegas, you have illegal aliens working all over the place there. And